All right, guys. Another episode, another pod here. I'm forgetting the numbers. I'm going to stop keeping track of that. I keep saying that every episode now, but I have a very important guest today, an MLS player who's in the USL right now on loan, a Columbus Crew loanee. We could call you that, right, Cole? Just to give you guys a little background on Cole, and Cole, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I did a little kind of deep dive in you a little bit. You are a Chicago native. You joined the Columbus Crew Academy in 2022. You debuted for the MLS Next Pro Side Columbus Crew 2 in 2022. You had 2 goals and 5 assists in 25 games. Very good numbers for a midfielder. The hobby likes to hear that, obviously. You made the MLS debut in 2024, and you were loaned out to the USL champions, Colorado, right? Pretty amazing. The Colorado Springs Switchbacks. I should actually be specific with which team. And one of the things that I had read about you, and I've watched a little game tape on you, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. You have people that do that for you every day. I'm not that guy, but you scored a tremendous goal in a 2-0 victory over Tulsa, probably about 2 months ago, almost, right, or a month
Yeah,
and a half
like
ago.
a little bit, a little. Actually, it's pretty close to a month. I just got here a month ago.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It was end of August. August 31st is when you did that. Yeah, and from everything I've watched from you, watching you play, you're very technical. You're a possession oriented player, midfielder, right? That works really well in a high pressing system. You're also eligible for multiple national teams. So it looks like the USA, Poland, as we had talked about, and also the Philippines. I remember you telling me your mother's Filipino. So, guy, welcome to the pod. Happy to have you here. We're going to talk a little bit about your kind of career, I guess, to start. And we'll go to cards as usual, right? That's where we kind of really kind of intertwine, I guess. You're an athlete. I'm not an athlete anymore. At one point in my life, I was, but no longer. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be on.
Oh, awesome. Tell us a little bit about your. I've always wanted to ask this to a player. How you feel when you went on a loan, when you went on loan from Columbus. How does that feel usually? I mean, I've heard, just for full transparency, I have a cousin in Portugal who he was a player that was in the upper league, but was very young, and he got loaned out, and then he kind of, fizzled out. Went over to Spain for a little bit, went to Andorra for a little bit, and he kind of fizzled out. And I understand how he was kind of let down at the beginning. He was pretty excited because it gave him the game time. But tell me a little bit about that experience. How you feel about that?
Yeah, so this is now my second stint with the Switchbacks. So obviously, we had last year, which was for pretty much the exact same time that it's going to be this year. And I think that was really needed. I was 18. The next pro level, when you get to a certain point, it's not as competitive as it needs to be. So I like last year, I was honestly really excited. There's some frustrating moments where I thought I should play, didn't get the minutes, but then it kind of came together at the end of the year where I'm playing during playoffs, starting during the semifinals, and then we're winning a championship. So that was a really good experience. My expectation kind of coming back from that loan was to be playing with crew, which happened at the beginning of the year. And then kind of my minutes fizzled out towards the end of the year. Like if I'm being fully transparent, I didn't want to go out on loan the second time. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but like there's obviously some bitterness. I would say. And we'll see what happens next year. I still have a year left on my contract with Columbus and two options, club options that they can use. It's a great environment because I'm with teammates that I already knew. So it's made it really easy adjusting. And I just got my first start of the year last weekend, and I expect a lot more minutes to come. But I've been ever since I got here, it's a lot different to last year, where I'm either first off the bench or I'm starting, and I expect to start the next couple games. But yeah, no,
That's that's
there's a little bitterness if I'm being.
no, yeah, no. I can understand that. Having heard, I've heard some numerous people that have gone through similar situations, and I always tell many of these people the same thing: just play your way back there.
Yeah,
You'll be there.
100%.
You know what I mean? 100%. And you're a younger guy. Um, in terms of that makeup, right? And so reading about you and kind of it looks like KDB and I think you referenced Mesut Ozil as the two guys that you really like, right?
Those are the two guys.
Those are the two guys, huh? And because you're younger, I mean, you You were probably what, 5 or 6 years old when Ozil was really kind of at his, or a little older probably when Ozil was at
I
his
mean, when
prime,
he was
right?
at Arsenal, I was a little older, but yeah, when he was at Madrid, yeah, I wasn't really watching him too much.
Hold on a second. Are you an Arsenal fan?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's good to hear. No, no, I have a lot of Arsenal friends, but they're losers. Arsenal, sorry, Arsenal fans.
What
We
team do
like
you support?
there's only one team in the world, man. It's football heritage, Benfica.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. See, exactly. That's the answer I usually get is like football heritage. No, that's good, man. I'm excited to see you progress with what you're doing. It's not everybody can say they play professional soccer. It's a very difficult sport. I try to when I talk to a lot of younger people today, and I say this very kind of, you think about Brady, Jordan, Messi, Ronaldo. You think about those guys, Wayne Gretzky. I'll throw in there too. I don't want to leave him out, or even a boxer, Mayweather, right? These guys all have one thing in common, and I say this every time: they're all psychos. And if you think about that, people are like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "These are guys that are just always trying to get better at what they do continuously over and over for such a long period of time." Sorry, LeBron, I forgot to include you, but those guys are crazy. So I kind of hopefully I empower you to continue to do your best and become one of the best. But it's exciting. So guys, make sure you guys. Oh yeah, give us your Instagram. I think you have two or one.
Yeah, I have two. So I have my main, which is just first and last name, and obviously I have my card Instagram, which is just Mrowka underscore collects.
Yeah, follow those two accounts, guys. All right, let's get. I don't want to go too deep into the soccer stuff because you kind of like you deal with that every day. That's what you do for a living, which is great. What other stuff do you do besides play soccer professionally and collect soccer cards as well? Anything else you do that we want to know about?
I mean, I like reading. Put that out there. Honestly, I'm a very big, just like I'm from Chicago, so big city guy. I've been living in Columbus for my major teenage years, so I'm a very big, just spontaneous go out and walk around the city. So
Nothing
that
wrong with that.
yeah, I'm not yeah, I enjoy it. So
Are you a Cubs fan? Are you a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan?
I'm a huge Cubs fan.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Tell you a funny story because you probably never heard this story. Some people have heard this story. So I was a Cubs fan growing up. But I'm from Boston originally, so I'm a Red Sox fan. But the Cubs were my National League team. You want to know why? And your parents will probably know why. They were on WGN every day after I get home from school
Okay,
because
yeah,
they didn't have lights at Wrigley yet until like 1992. So they became my favorite team. But I still like the Cubs a lot. And, the recent passing of Ryan Sandberg was devastating. Obviously, we knew he was sick, but kind of a legend. One of the guys that growing up, I played baseball and I loved watching him play. So I like the Cubs. Cubs are good.
yeah, with my dad, we had a little tradition going. My birthday is right around home opening game. So every from I think the age of 5 to like 14, every single year he'd take me out of school and we'd go to that 120 or whatever time it was at that home opening game
That's
every
awesome.
year as a birthday gift. So
That's
that
awesome.
yeah, that was big Cubs fan.
Do you guys as a team, like with your teammates, do you guys like hang out after practice, after games? Do you guys do anything in particular?
With some of the guys, I mean, there's little groups, like it's different for every league. You talk about the MLS, there's guys that are making in the locker room 5 mil a year, and there's guys that are making 100K a year, and it's like
Yeah.
it's less likely for those guys to be interacting off the field. But I think it's some based on just nationality. Like this Hispanic guys will hang out together after training. But yeah, I mean it's normal. You see each other every day. Sometimes you want to see them after training. Sometimes you just want to tell them to piss off.
Yeah, 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 I get it. It's kind of like in a work environment where you're with your coworkers all day, and occasionally you go out for drinks or whatever, and and some days you're like, I don't want to hang out with this guy today. Like this is crazy, So I get that. But so in terms of like, so now full time, do you live in Chicago? Or are you like when you're not in season? Are you in Chicago or are you in Columbus?
I'd say Columbus.
Okay,
Yeah, I would say more Columbus. I'll go home and visit my parents mainly during Christmas time. We'll see about this year. I kind of want to visit a few places, but I'd say mainly Columbus right now. If next year I'm on a different team, then obviously, I won't be staying in Columbus. So
sure.
then I would say Chicago, but I would say Columbus if If I end up staying there the next 2 to 3 years, I'd probably call that permanent home.
You ever gone over to Portugal at all?
I don't think I have. Uh,
Why not? Why not?
that's a place I wanted to visit actually. That was on the bucket list.
You should go.
I think my mom might go there for work or something like that.
Well, it's funny because the Philippines have a heavy Portuguese influence too, as well.
There's a heavy Hispanic, right? Hispanic influence as well.
What's that? The Philippines? Oh yeah, yeah, yep, yep. At Benfica, we're always welcoming new social members. And when I say members, we're talking about members that pay to vote for the new president. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you know this, but people probably are tired of hearing me saying this, but Benfica actually has the most paying members in the world over Bayern Munich. So that's how big of a club it is. I mean, I'm sure I could probably make a call, maybe get you a try out there too if you want to. At Benfica, it would be probably
It's
great.
actually, oh, you're not gonna like it, but, there was someone who was trying to get me a trial at Porto for a bit.
Oh, you should have gone, man. You should have gone.
The issue is I don't have my European passport yet.
You getting one?
Yes, I'm getting my Polish one, but it's a long process.
What's that process like? Because I have a Portuguese one. You know how easy it was? I filled out some paperwork, I wrote them a check, and that was it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
I had to give them my parents' stuff too. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
The issue is it's not direct lineage, so my dad and my grandma were born in the US.
okay,
So it's my great grandparents. So we have to prove that they were there during a certain date, which I think it was before like World War II, or sorry, after that they stayed after World War II,
yeah,
like that. So it's just getting a lot of documentation, then it's sending it over to them, and it's been a year now, so it's a long process.
yeah. That's actually a very cool thing you're doing, and I encourage a lot of people to do that too. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of like if you have a chance to play on a national team, right? Let's say the Polish team comes knocking on the door, right? Why not, right? I mean, it goes all the way back to your family. So that's good.
I
Great that
had
you're
the
doing that.
opportunity to play with the Philippines for the men's team, not the youth team. I just think I don't think it's the right time in my career for
Yeah.
something like that. Especially with the US and Poland both being options right now. But we'll see.
No,
Things
I
can
hope
change
you.
in 2 years.
I wish you the best in that. Oh, that's a great journey. All right, so let's talk cards.
All right.
Who do you
Important.
collect? Who do you collect? Who do you collect?
Who do I collect?
Yeah,
I've been heavy into Mora recently.
yeah.
Ozil are the two main guys right now.
You have any Ozil? Does he have a 2014 auto?
He does. Yes. With
Oh,
Prism,
that,
he does.
yeah, you have that one.
I don't. I've been collecting his base from the 2014 set.
Yeah.
So I have his green ice, which is at a 25, a few other
Ooh.
ones. I'm trying to get the matchups of him and Ronaldo because those are two of my favorite players of all time.
It's funny. I had one at the show this weekend at the All Soccer Card Show in New Jersey too,
I heard
but
about
it was the gold and I think it was gold and red Pulsar edition. I put it in the case. I really don't want to sell it, but somebody came over and like, can I really have that? 'Cause I'm trying to collect all of them. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can take it.
there's a few there was a gold and a gold power at Soko and I missed out on them.
Really? Somebody bought them?
I think so. It's just I think, during that time, I should have been a little bit when I was there, I should have been more just I should have paid stronger, and
Yeah.
like, right after SoCo, the market just went insane. So I was, looking at the comps, I'm like, "Damn, do I really wanna be paying $300 over the last comp?" Or whatever it is, on certain cards. There's, like, even Messi Ronaldo matchups, like, in a PSA 9, so
Yeah.
and it's like, they're asking a K, the last comp was a month ago at 700. Do I really want to be paying $100 over? And now that card's worth.
Wish you could go back in time now, right?
Exactly.
That's why, and I put up a reel today that I talked about that comps shouldn't matter to anybody. You know why? Because if you believe in the card and the players on the card,
It'll
you just
go
buy
up.
it. You just
Yeah,
buy it. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. Because a comp, right, is only as good as a new comp that's set.
right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like if comps are kind of irrelevant if you think about it. And I hate to use a comparison of real estate, but there is a comparison there where if somebody really wants the house, they're gonna pay whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just how it goes. But and I think I've seen you on with Brian's channel before, right? That have you broken some cards with him? Have you been doing breaks for him
Yeah,
or?
so I'm on their channel as a breaker. I have my own whatnot account that I break off of. So I've been doing that for like a year and almost a year and a half actually now. So that's kind of how it started, and it was kind of just like he came into town to shoot a video with me. I don't know if you've seen that video, but he
I
came
saw
in.
the video with the
Yeah,
cards you're autographing.
exactly. He
Those
came in.
haven't come out yet, have they?
No, I'll be in probably in a month. Honestly, we're getting to
Cool.
the point where Chrome MLS will release soon. So he came into town, and we kind of just brought it up. I was getting to a point where finding wax consistently was starting to get a little bit more difficult, and he brought it up, and he's made it where I can still break on my own channel with wax that I buy, and then I can still find a way to work with them.
Yeah, so I haven't done a break in a while, but a long time ago I used to break on Whatnot a little bit here and there when I could get the right price, you know what I mean? For stuff, and I wasn't making very much money on doing it, but I just had fun doing it. That's why I miss doing that because I think there's so much fun. There's a fun community aspect to it. And for you, who's an actual professional soccer player to be doing it makes it even more fun, I would say. I haven't seen any of your breaks. I tried to prevent myself from going on Whatnot as much as possible.
Don't blame you.
Uh, the last time I bought something on Whatnot was that João Neves triple color patch that I posted.
Okay, yeah, I think
And I was on my way to Maine for I was going camping, and I'm going to a place where there's no service. And I put in a bid. I go, there's no way this is gonna win, and it did. Like when I got into service again, it showed that I won, and I was kind of like, what? We'll see if this guy ships this card or not. But that's fun though. What with the breaks? What is that more of a love for breaking, or is it a combination of things? Love it, or is it more the interaction with the community? Because I feel like it's probably the interaction with the community.
It's a little bit of both. I genuinely enjoy ripping product, if it's a good product. So right now um I've been ripping a lot of the new Prism set, which I think could have been a top 3 set if it was fully licensed and they did a little bit better job with the kabooms. But no, it's just like I enjoy ripping products, and it gets to a point where it's like you can't be spending your own money and
Yeah,
consistently. I mean, yes, you'll get the lucky hit every once in a while, but like if we're being honest, doming product is you're almost always gonna lose money off of it.
yeah, I haven't ripped any of that stuff. I really want to, and those megas are available in some of the card shops around here, but they're marked up too much. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can just buy these online a lot cheaper.
I will say, think so I've done 2 hobby cases now. I think I could have domed both cases and would have been up like 10K. Like it was the cases.
Wow,
We had a Messi auto out of 5 and a
wow.
dual color blast of Jude and Mbappe, I think, which just sold for 2.8K. So it's been pretty insane.
I'm a big guy on Mbappe right now.
I think his market is severely undervalued.
I haven't posted on Instagram yet, but I'm gonna probably. I made a rule to myself. The other podcast I released this week, I told people I was not gonna post anything on Instagram until a week after my podcast airs to keep people away from certain things. And
Smart.
one of them was the Mbappe. One of the things I talk about was not so much the kabooms now, right? Because they're kind of. I mean, they're out of my price range now. I think they're out of a lot of people's the first year kabooms for Mbappe. They're out of a lot of people's price ranges. So I
The
started to think about
2017 ones?
yeah, like the nines and the nines are like what 8K I think. The
Yeah.
tens are 30,
They've
40K.
they've gone up a lot, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late for that. So now you have to like I always talk about patterns and trying to figure out what's next. Do you know what I think is the next thing for like Mbappe stuff? Well, I shouldn't say. I think all this stuff is going to go up. I actually think is Panini 2018 World Cup Gold, the gold sticker, is one to keep
Yeah.
an eye on. And I was right because this weekend I was going to buy 2 of them at about $300 a piece on Fanatics Collect. And then the next day, one on auction goes for $425. So the price just went up. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to happen too. Um, but I started to kind of think about those case hits and how important they are. And I think people are forgetting about stained glass, first stained glass. You know what year the first stained glass came out?
It was it 2020?
Yeah. You know which product?
It's Euro's Prism, right?
Yeah, your Mosaic Euro, and also Serie A. I mean, Serie A doesn't have the star talent that the Euros have, but that's Mbappe's first stained glass. So I just bought one raw, and I think it was like $130 or something,
It's
and it
not
looks really good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a bad price. There's
No, and I
risk with that too.
yeah, there's a yeah, very minimal risk, and it's kinda like, I think people are gonna start they probably should start looking at these things.
With or if you look at like Messi's kabooms as well, you look at kind of, I mean, his market's just gone crazy, but you look
Yeah.
at like just the kabooms of like certain specific years. I wouldn't be surprised. Mbappe, I'm sure, has a 2022 kaboom.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up too,
Yeah.
similar to Messi's.
Yeah, I think it's I think one of the things I preach is like if you can understand patterns in the sports card world, and this goes for across all sports, because they all behave the same way. You think about wax. When wax comes out, it's at the highest point it is, right? Unless you have a Lamine Yamal rookie, and that's different, but that's far few in between. So it comes out, it's very expensive. Like, what have you seen with Club World Cup Prism? You've done two cases, or
Yeah.
has the price come down a little bit? What's
So
been going on with that?
it actually went down. If you look at like DealerNet and certain websites, it went down like pretty quickly. A lot of people bought it up and then it went down just because it's like it's certain things are unlicensed. Messi Kaboom looks not good, but it's think people are starting to realize like in those two cases we hit two color blasts. Like that's not normal for a Prism product.
No.
You look at EPL Prism and you see how difficult it is to hit a color blast. You sometimes don't see color blasts in 20 cases. So the fact that we're hitting two in two cases is not normal. So I think a lot of people started to realize like, Panini may have juiced the product a little bit and it slowly kind of crept back up. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if long term the product goes up a little bit, but I just don't see it going up too much because of the issues with non-licensing, the Kaboom's design being, flat. I think in person the Kaboom design looks good, but on a screen, over the phone, it's not it.
Yeah, because the unlicensed stuff bothers me sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. It depends how it's done, right? Like the João Neves Kaboom bothers me. Like
Oh no,
that
100%.
really
Same
bothers
with the
me.
Messi. I was looking
Yeah,
at someone on IG and they did their own design of Messi and it looked 20 times better where it's like
yeah,
just take a photo where the crest is covered, where they're turned to the side or something like
yep,
that.
yep.
And it's not that difficult. And when Panini does things like just makes it flat to the view, and you can see just a pink pajama or a blue pajama or whatever. It's like, come on, like it can't be that.
Yeah, everyone's calling it the pink pajama card. It's kind of funny, but I actually have to wonder because I'm not sure the cases are juiced. I think Panini probably didn't print a lot of it.
Oh, I think so too. I
You
think
know what I
it's
mean?
like I love ripping Serie A select.
Yeah, yep.
And you look at the hit rate in that, it's absolutely insane. It's insane every single year, and obviously the print runs to 49 or less. So, you already
That's
know going
that's
into it.
That's kinda like even FIFA Select. I prefer FIFA Select over the Chrome and the other Topps products, right? I just do. I mean, 1,500 cases of that product versus 10,000 of Chrome, it's like, I have a better chance of hitting something really special in FIFA Select versus a Topps Chrome, you know what I mean? It's just like Panini does a good job, and it sucks that they're losing their licenses, but I don't think that's in every sport yet, but it's getting there. But so that's interesting. Now you make me want to actually rip some Club World Cup because there's some stuff in there that I would like, Nevs and and the unlicensed, like I was saying, the unlicensed stuff, people forget that 2014 Prism has unlicensed stuff in it too. You
England,
know,
yeah, there's a few. Yeah,
England and who else? I can't even remember who the other ones are, but yeah, England's are the big ones. There's big
yeah,
cards in there of England.
there's some big teams though.
So it's like that didn't hamper that set. So I think, a lot of people today are still complaining about Club World Cup. It's an easy why complain? You just don't buy it. It's fine. Just don't buy it. Like I want to get a mega box, just open one, just see what it's like. Because I'd like to see like there's Mora cards in there. There's some, Benfica stuff in there I might like. I mean, there's stuff in there that I might actually for me, it's kind of like I would love to pull a João Neves Kaboom, but I'm not going to because I still want the card, even though it's unlicensed. I mean, I have an Upper Deck Exquisite of Neves, and it's a beautiful card. It's unlicensed though. Exquisite is a legendary name, and I don't think it's going to matter. You know what I mean? It's not going to matter.
You
Just
think that
like
will matter with Lamine? I've seen a few people have asked me about it and saying like this is pretty cheap for Lamine, exquisite. Do you see this going up? And I haven't really known what to say just because it's like
hey, I think long term, if Lamine continues to do what he does, obviously on the field, I think long term there will be value behind those cards. They're on card.
right.
So they're on card. They're a brand that's legendary. So I mean, anything like that, like The Young Guns, I get it. They did a Young Guns Lamine. They did a Young Guns João Neves also. There's not like for those, it's kind of like, come on, those aren't rookies. You know, Young Guns are typically for hockey rookies, but they're cool. I actually bought a clear cut of Neves because it's a case hit. So I bought that. I bought it really cheap, but I wanted one. But I think the Lamine Yamal Exquisite, I think, will have some value just because of, think about the names associated with Exquisite. LeBron James, that rookie is an Exquisite card. So it's going to carry some weight. I just haven't seen many people in the soccer community really like at that show in New Jersey this weekend. I actually had my Nevzo, the Exquisite, and people are like, "That card is beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I tell you guys this all the time. It's a beautiful card. It's got the little window with his picture, and then it's just white, and it says Exquisite up top, and it's got his auto on card. It's a beautiful card. But yeah, I think so. I mean, I think like with anything, like 20. If you could have told me what 11 years ago that 2014 Prism would be getting these prices right now, I ripped some of that stuff and I threw them in boxes, like not giving, like looking for only Portugal players, like a moron. And I was already old enough to realize what was going on, but I was like, no, I want Portugal, 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 Portugal. I had some messy base and Ronaldo's that I found later, but they were beat. You know what I mean? And I think that's the case with a lot of those cards from that set. But that's a great set. What is that your favorite set, the 2014 Prism, or is there another set that you think is your favorite?
That is up there. I'd say that's probably third. 2017 Chrome.
Yeah, it's a favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah, a while I'm still in the process, but I'm trying to complete the out of 99 set in PSA 10,
That's sick.
which now has probably become even more unattainable. I should have started with the big boys a year ago instead of starting with the smaller ones, because those are up like crazy in price right now.
Who's doing similar something to you, and we'll get back to you on your other ones. But Cajun Cardboard.
Don't know.
I had him on my podcast a few weeks ago. He's doing the of 50 from that set in PSA
Out of
10.
50, wow.
Yeah, he says
Yeah,
he's only got a few left. And Mbappe's the big one that he needs.
yeah, that's
He's
what
sick.
is that running like 30 right now? 30,
Who
40?
know who? I don't even want. I mean, the of 99s. That's. I mean, do you have the Mbappe one?
I don't know. I don't have any of the big ones. Like
Oh yeah, those
I
that Mbappe's gonna catch some money.
yep,
I'd buy now if I were you. Just
probably
I'm gonna throw that
honestly,
out. I'm throwing that out there right now. Buy your Mbappe stuff now.
yeah. I probably will. I might move away from a little bit of Mora. I just bought Mora's Super Fractor actually.
The Chrome one.
The Chrome base. I just bought it. It's that grading. We'll see what it does.
Hopefully, you get a 10, man.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But
You
we'll
never
see.
know.
You never know, especially with cards like that. I feel like PSA sometimes are like, you know what, his market needs a 10. We'll give it a 10, but you never know.
And then what's your number one set?
I would say 17 Chrome is my number
Oh,
one.
17.
My
And
number two is 16 Select.
yeah, 16 selects. I like that set a lot
Yeah,
too.
I do.
And I think that's part of the kind of the wave right now is the 2014 Prism's getting too expensive, and people are like, "What's next?" 2016 Select or even 2018 Prism now is starting to
2018, that's a good one too. That's probably fourth.
it's starting to move up a little bit. Even that stuff is starting to like I've noticed the pricing on that stuff is and I'm not watching like the wax. This is an interesting time because the wax is not rising as fast as the singles are, which indicates to me that the soccer community has gotten a lot smarter and not breaking as much, which, for you as a breaker can be terrible, but you're a professional athlete, so you should have no problem filling breaks. You know what I mean?
I mean, with breaks, I think it's all nowadays you're seeing more just people want the newest product, and it's like if you're getting it cheap enough, you can make money off of it.
Yeah,
But finding those older products, like one of my goals is to run a full case of 2017 Chrome, but
man.
like the Mbappe spot has to be like 7K, the Messi spot has to be 6K, so you have to find the buyers for that, which I think I have.
Yeah, you should be able to fill that should be no problem to fill that up.
It's just finding now a case that's cheap enough where it works for everyone because it is very difficult to find a case of that stuff where people aren't asking 25, 30K now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of the interesting parts about this hobby is that as product dries up, and some of the singles even dry up. You don't see like even the 2020 Merlin stuff, Chrome, you don't see a lot of that stuff you don't see on eBay
Stadium
anymore.
Club even, yeah.
Yeah, it's like people just hoard them and they say, "Nope, I'm not selling anything. I'm just gonna hold it." Which is good. I think the hobby needs that a little bit because we need to be I think smarter and more collector driven. People are always so the show this past weekend in New Jersey was really good. It felt like a community. It felt really good. Everybody was happy. It was a very transactional show. People were friendly, everything. But I noticed one thing that was really interesting is that it felt more collector driven, not exactly I'm taking this to flip it. You know what I mean? The example I gave people, I'm gonna tell you because you may not have heard it on my podcast that came out earlier. I had a Messi '06 World Cup card in a mag holder. Corners. You saw the reel. You saw the reel. And nobody wanted it, and they come back and I say no, price has changed. You know what I mean? It's like that's why we go back to that comps discussion. It's kind of like why now you have a rookie card coming out, right? Let's pump this rookie card because we got to drive the
It
somebody.
should
Are you
be.
gonna put are you gonna put a bounty out for the super or what?
I do have some bounties. I'm gonna keep them a little low key for now because my hope is to get them cheaper than the bounty. But
Okay,
I had a few people just like that have bought in breaks with me saying, I'm gonna pay 10K for that and I'm never selling it. And it's it's like, damn, I respect it, but I don't have the money to be spending 10K on
sure, yeah.
a long card. But no, I have three cards. I should have the base chrome autograph super, and then I'll have the 101 debut, which is the on card. And I'd say that's the big one I'm going for.
But that one's gonna be on card, huh? That's
Yeah, I've
nice.
already signed it actually.
Oh, very cool.
A lot of rep. I signed it. It had the debut, which was from its game one.
Patch.
Yeah. They took my jersey after the game. I got the jersey back, so I do have my debut jersey at home somewhere. I'm in Columbus.
What did that experience feel like knowing like here I am playing this game in this jersey and they take this patch off and put in a card that I get to autograph that somebody's gonna pull someday.
I'm gonna
What
be
was that like?
completely honest. Wasn't like I knew about it, but I wasn't as big as I was into soccer cards when I made that debut. Because that was over a year and a half ago now, maybe a little, maybe even more. So I've been into cards my whole life, but I was big into baseball growing up, just because that's what my brother would collect.
Sure.
Um, that's I played baseball growing up. I was a big Cubs fan, so it kind of made sense. And I didn't really know that there was this market of soccer cards until maybe 2 years ago. Like I knew there were soccer cards, but more match attacks and things like that. So at the time, I didn't really think about it. Now you look back on it, and you're like, damn, that was cool.
Do you ever look at like any old like I have a knack for opening so I had 6 boxes of 93 World Cup preview boxes of Upper Deck and I was opening a box every month for the past 6 months. I didn't pull any Jordan honorary captains until the last box, the last pack. I pulled the honorary captain Jordan Gold, but the top left corner was dinged. So I was really upset about that.
Yeah.
But it took me. I mean, guys, like those boxes are cheap and they're fun because of those cards that are in there. But you ever open any old product like that, like thousands? Like I know Upper Deck's got some MLS stuff from the late 2000s as well. You ever open anything old like that?
I would say a few. I've opened like not that old, but I've opened some Upper Deck products from like the 2000s, like with MLS. I was actually at the LCS here in Springs, and I was looking at a binder just full of 1993 Merlin for the price.
Wow.
And it's like the full set, and it's like I think the asking price on it was like $200, and you're looking at it, it's like, yes, like this is cool. It's just like you think about how overprinted it was, and it's like it is cool. I'll put it that way. They're cool
200
cards.
$200, I'd buy it. That's worth
No,
it.
no, I was thinking about it. I just don't know what I would do with it.
Yeah, no, I get that part. I mean, it's kind of becomes one of those things. It's like, what am I gonna do with this? It's like
You look
kind of
at the potential, like those are the type of cards where grades matter.
yeah,
And I was looking at like what a PSA 9 does, and obviously PSA just raised their prices, but like a PSA 9 of a certain card's doing $30 and the PSA 10's doing 100. So it's like, maybe down the line this would be worth more, but like it's already been 35 year or well, yeah, 32 years, and
yeah,
you haven't seen, you have base cards going for $2 when
yeah.
there's products that are newer.
Is that the investor flipper side of you that's thinking versus the
A little
collector
bit,
side of
yeah.
things?
I
Which
like
makes sense. I mean, you're younger, so you didn't grow up with those guys, so you don't have an emotional connection to those
Exactly.
guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So, I mean, I will say this, whenever not every single time, because I will buy cards, I just think, "Oh, this is cool." But when I make larger purchases, it's very hard not to think about the monetary side, especially with someone my age.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been financially independent since I was 16, but it's like at the same time, it's like, do I want to be spending $1,000 on this card if tomorrow it could be or not tomorrow, but like a few weeks down the line it could be worth $200. So it's like it's a cool card, but I always think about that on larger end purchases.
So generally with like, all right, so you have a Mora Super, right? So he's a guy that you're collecting. Like I love Mora too. I think he's really good. I'm just not sure he's going to fit into Frioli's system right now at
Agree.
Porto.
I agree. It's just
He needs to
I'm a
go.
little concerned.
He's when he's come on as a sub, he's played really well. But he just in that system, I don't think. So we'll see what happens there. I'm hoping this is a dream for me. Is Benfica comes in, pays a $7 million clause underneath the table, and it comes to Benfica, and that's it. And then
I mean, I heard there was something with another. I don't know what team, if it was Benfica, but I heard there was some Portuguese teams that were actually thinking about doing that.
yeah, it was Benfica.
It was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in an election year for us Benfica members, and Rui Costa is in danger of losing his job this year. He might not be the president next for the next. That's probably why I brought in Mourinho to try to save the job. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm not confident he's going to win re-election because a lot of members are mad about certain things. One of them being the Joao Neves sale for
yeah.
40 million with 20 million add-ons. Are like, well, you sold a $100 million player for nothing, you know. But yeah, Mora's interesting. I really like him. I've said it many times. He's the best offensive talent I've seen come out of Portugal since Ronaldo. I think he's that good or could be that good. It's got to be put in the right system. Besides him, are there any other guys that you're prospecting that you're looking at currently?
Um, Honestly, not really.
Do you buy more of the legends or more of the established
I
players?
think I would say a few months ago I was big into rookies, and I've realized it's not the way to go.
Yeah,
And you need to. I would say, I mean, you look at the market right now and the way the legends market's exploding. Like, I feel like that's better. And I like buying certain sets as well. Um,
yeah,
but I had some big. There's some cards that I shouldn't have sold that I sold maybe just a little bit too early. I had a tier one rookie of Verts that I sold. Obviously, he's not doing the best right now, but that card's up $1,000 where I sold it at.
mm,
I had a Yildiz card that I sold maybe a month ago actually. I had his Bowman Gold Auto from the
sick
2022
card.
PSA 10, and I could probably get 2,500 out of it now. And now, don't get me wrong, I made money on it,
Yeah.
a lot more.
And we got to be happy. We got to be happy where we take our gains, right? Like
Yeah,
I had one of those yield these autos to the silver out of Bowman, and it was a 9, but I got 200 out of it, and I was happy with that. Do I wish I still had the card? Yeah, because it's kind of a hard card to come by. Those Bowmans
100%.
are tough to come by, hard to come by.
And
It's
that's not
just kind of
it's opened either.
yeah, and that's an interesting set because you have to wonder if people are actually gonna like look at that yield these rookie and think that's his rookie card. It's his first Bowman, right? Like baseball, baseball has that thing. Now and I get your point on rookies. I still like to rookie, but I'm kind of I go on the real low end, like William Gomes, for example, from
Yeah, I think
Porto.
yeah. That's also a concern with Mora because it seems like he's getting more prioritized over Mora right now.
Yeah, they play different positions too, though. You know what I mean? But
100%.
William Gomes, I tell everybody this story is I paid $8 and I think 72 cents for his tie dye. I sold his tie dye and is of 75 at the show this weekend for $150. But I was early on him. I told people to check him out because he was low entry point, and it's his only rookie. He doesn't have a Chrome product.
He didn't put in Prism either. Surprised about that.
That's wild. So he's one of those guys. He's one of those unicorns like Vlahovic and Leão that only had Chronicle rookie tickets, back in 19. So for the legends, like, are you buying for the legends? And I always kind of talk about this, how important it is to buy to buy the legends when they're still playing, cards of legends when they're still playing. Are you buying stuff of legends when they aren't playing anymore, like a Zidane auto from this year's select, for example? Or what are you looking at these
I
days?
mean, I would say I'm buying more of the stuff from recent years, which I probably should change. So, I mean, when you think about Zidane stuff, there's I'm trying to think like there's not really too much from playing days of him because what he retired in '06. So it's
There's 97, 98 Merlin, Serie A. Those
maybe
rubies are crazy money.
they are really.
Yeah, a ruby like PSA 6, I think is 3 grand.
So maybe
The
maybe
number,
I should start buying stuff like that. I've never been a huge vintage guy. I
yeah.
know that's not really vintage, but
I actually agree with that term because, and some people yell at me for that, but I consider that vintage
you do. Okay,
because, yeah, because soccer never had cards. This isn't baseball or basketball that had cards in the 40s, 50s, and 60s like hockey did too. Soccer just started having cards in the 90s. So we have to call that vintage. They call it, what do they call it? They use a fancy pre-modern, right? Is that what they call it or something
that's
like
what they
that?
call. Yeah,
No, I call it vintage. I go, this is vintage, guys. Cut it. Stop it. This is all old.
maybe I should start getting into more stuff like that. I probably, I'm probably gonna buy some Mbappe after the.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's kind of like for somebody you that young, right? And for me who grew up during that generation where there were those cards, I didn't know those cards existed, but I know of all those players and how important they were to me to watch them and to enjoy watch like a Rui Costa Ruby, I think. Oh, you know what it was? There was a 2002 World Cup Panini set too that only released in like Japan or something.
I know what
And
you're
there were
talking.
there were autos in that. There was a Rui Costa auto in there, and it was on Golden last November, and it went for I think it went for $900 something dollars in a PSA 9, like really expensive. And I always thought his tops from like 2 years ago was his first autos. No, it was that year too. But that stuff always, the older stuff like that always holds its value and becomes expensive. So for me, like I can associate those players. You probably have no direct correlation with them besides knowing that they were players, but that's about. But yeah, but and this pod will release this week, so I'll make sure you have a few days before you go buy those Mbappe. So I don't put it out before we tell everybody to go buy Mbappe. I really think Mbappe is the buy right now. I do, and Holland too, for that matter.
Yeah, Holland's market's interesting.
Yeah, I think he scored two today. He had 2 goals today too in the Champions
Yeah.
League.
For me, it's like you look at players like Lamine. Like I think now the entry point is it's too much
Yeah,
to make sense. But you look at players like Mbappe, it's like this could very well be one of like you think about it now, like he might be compared to Messi and Ronaldo 5, 6 years from now if he keeps doing what he's doing. And like yes, he needs to win more, but like at the end of the day, he's gonna be one of those legends that
yeah.
talk about. Whereas Lamine, like he still has a lot to prove. So that's for me. That's always my look with rookies and buying established players. It's kind
I
of
mean,
like
when you think about Mbappe, right? We're talking about a guy that was what 3 minutes away from winning a second World Cup.
yeah.
That's what's wild about it. And
And
right
they
now
have
in the
a good
Champions
chance.
League,
They have a good chance in 20.
I tell everybody, even though I'm Portuguese and I'm rooting for Portugal, if I'm forced to bet on somebody, I'm taking France to win the whole thing.
Yeah. I think
I
Portugal
just
has a good chance, to be
I
fair.
did I do too. I do too. But I have an issue with the coach, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I think Mbappe, man. I don't know. I actually like Mbappe as a person. I like what he does on the field. I like the way he acts off the field. And I'm not by no means trying to trash Lamine Yamal, but he should know better, man. The off the field stuff is kind of like it's nonsense that don't even put yourself in those headlines. It hasn't affected his card values. It hasn't. But
Could be very soon.
it could very soon. Yeah, you're right. And then, Nuno Mendes took care of him today too, again, as usual, the best left back in the world. But yeah, I think you're right. That's a good lesson for people to understand is that, rookies aren't all they're tough. It's a risk. You bought that Mora Superfrag. That's a huge risk.
Gosh.
I mean, I'm jealous you have
It's
it.
actually I've held 3 of his one-on-ones now. And it's a reason I've sold 2 of them is because having that much of him when the entry point for that card is not exactly cheap. I sold the finest auto one-on-one.
That's a good sale.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit because I don't know if you know who has it. Foss has it. She ended up double gemming it. So I sold it raw. And then I just sold the Papa 101. Um,
Wow.
it got a PSA 8. So I'm hoping that this Superfractor turns out a little bit better with the grading.
I'm not a bit. I think you were smart selling that finest because I think finest is garbage. But
I agree.
that's just me. But some days, some years I like it. 3 years ago, the golds I thought were really nice. The up 50s, they were clean.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
But
about.
now they're just too like it's like there's too much
Too much
going
going
on
on.
these cards. Yeah. Yeah, so I know like I was saying, it's a valuable lesson that we all learn because I've learned too. I've invested in rookies that turned out to be nothing. It's and you learn from that. But I think, especially with new people coming into hobby, I think that's something that people need to understand is that you might find a really good rookie that you think potentially could be good, and then you get disappointed. It was like I had a guy come to my table this week at the soccer show, and he asked, "You have any Nico Paz?" And I was like, "No, I sold them all." He goes, I really like him. And I asked him a question, "What do you like about him?" He goes, "I just have a feeling about him." And I said, "That's not a good enough reason, man." Because what are you talking about? I go, "Listen, and this is not a slight on Nico Paz. I think he's a very good player. Football breaker, loves him. Those boys over there. But like I told him this weekend, I told them and I told the kid at my table, I said, if he was this good, if he was that good, he'd have more than 4 caps for Argentina. He'd also be at Real Madrid playing in Arda Güler's spot. Apparently, Arda Güler is better than he is. So think about that for a second. And it got the guy thinking. Football Breaker wasn't so much like that. He really didn't like my comment. But you have to kind of educate people sometimes. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I hope hopefully becomes a really good. He's a good player, very good player. But I don't think he's going to be an elite type of player. But I think that's how we advise people coming into the hobby is to be very cautious in what they do, what they purchase, how they purchase. I tell people they should all join breaks. A lot of people would tell me, "You're crazy. That's the worst way to get somebody into the hobby." I said, "No, let them understand. And if they win, great." Most people sometimes have first time luck. You know what I mean? Um, and they have to understand that there's kind of the shortcomings that come with those, and their big potential big wins. Do you have a lot of people that come into your whatnot that are new to the breaks?
There's a lot of returning customers, but yeah, there's a good amount that are new. It really depends again what break we're doing. The older stuff, it's a lot of the regulars, and then it's some of the bigger buyers who are like, you don't see this product very often.
Yeah,
Like the newer stuff, there's always a lot of new people. I would say.
it's that hype train, man. People chasing that hype. You collect you collect Messi or Ronaldo or both or any of them
I mean, both if I can get my hands on them for
cheap.
for a reasonable price, which is
What's the best? What's the best card you have of each?
of each. I have a Ronaldo auto from 2020 iMac.
Nice.
Um, and Messi, I don't think I have any Messi right now, actually. I sold off a lot. I just sold a Miami on-card auto of his, but it's too late now to get into Messi. Actually, I take that back. I don't think it's too late, but I think you have to time it correctly because
Yeah, I don't think it's too late
I
either.
don't think it's too late because it's Messi. It's you have to find the right stuff to buy.
Yeah, yeah. I think both of those guys that you'll never lose. Especially if you're gonna hold these guys long term. I mean, I don't own a Ronaldo auto yet. I need to own one. Eventually, I'll get one. I'm just very selective on what I want. Like, I actually want Upper Deck, like 2003 auto. I want early auto, and those are big money. But for me, it's like I tell people, you got to be selective in what you buy and what you want. Like I love Museum. Museum's a product I love, but the hobby does not seem to like it at all.
No.
It's really strange. And if that product was in the hockey world, they would love that product because they love the patches, the big patches, and all that stuff. But it's interesting. Any other? So you have Ozil, KDB, you have some Ronaldo stuff, some Messi stuff. Anybody else that like kind of like under the radar that we don't know about?
Honestly, not really. I try to stick when I first got into collecting, I kind of would grab any Man United player that I could find,
Okay.
and I realize it's not the best idea just because you start to get these cards that are like, why do I have it out of 399 of this player or something like that. So I tried to condense, and I'm very picky now of what I buy in the way that if I find a cool card, I find a cool card,
Yeah.
and normally those cool cards I like to be cheaper rather than on the higher end because sometimes cool cards don't hold value. But my collector mindset is the cool cards. If they're they're under $400, I'll grab I'll buy it. Anything above that, like for me, it has to make sense long term to have this card. Because I don't want to be just buying a card and selling it, buying a card, selling it. So yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of
it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's like I sell some stuff too to buy other stuff that I want, but part of it is it becomes kind of the damn, the Yankees ended up winning 4-3. Not good. 1-1.
what
So
game three. Yeah, same
no,
with me.
it's game two. Game three's back. It's gonna be back in Boston though. They're gonna have a bad time there. But where like where do you see? I'd like to ask this question to a lot of people. The next 10 years, where do you see this hobby going? Like, what are we gonna see there? I mean, it's kind of one of those open ended questions where I think it keeps keeps growing, right?
I agree. I think it's tough though, because like I think for it to really grow to the levels it should, you need to have either people in Europe really starting to go big on it, like people in the US do on football and other sports like baseball, or you need people from those sports starting to say, "Oh, I love soccer," and they're bringing in more money into that, which I think is happening recently. You see
Yeah,
people from other sports starting to get in to soccer, but like it just has to keep going and going. And you need another big name like Ronaldo and Messi. I don't know if Lamine will be that name if I'm being completely honest.
we know what that name is. It's Mbappe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. To be fair, it is. It's just it's tough.
He could have a dream year this year, right? We thinking about this, the position he's in right now, where he could potentially win the Champions League. I'm not trying to say he's going to, but potentially win the Champions League, potentially win the World Cup, and potentially win the Ballon d'Or, which would be wild. He would actually be the first ever. I did research a few weeks on the triple. I called it the triple gold club. Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner, and World Cup winner.
Be the first to do it in the same year.
He'd be the first one to do it in the same year.
Be
I'm
crazy.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would be. That'd be kind of crazy, right? Like it'd be like that'd be wild.
And I like for me, I don't see like I think Lamine is an amazing player. I just don't see there's certain things that really turn me off from him, and I just like you. I don't think he deserves second in the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't see him. He has to turn it up a big level, in my opinion, to win the Ballon d'Or. Like a big, big level. You have to put stats on the board. You can't just be the best visually appealing player on the field. That's the reality with the Ballon d'Or when you look at the last 15 years with Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, yeah. It's become it's kind of like one of those awards now where it's become stat driven kind. If you think well, stat driven, a popularity contest kind of, right? He finishes second, even though to me he wasn't the best player on Barcelona.
100%.
And I think, it's now it's been like it's probably been more than twice. But today's game, like one of my friends told me he looked good today. He looked good today. I was like, he didn't look that good today. He didn't look terrible, but he didn't look that good either. And then in the Nations League against the final against Portugal, he didn't look good there either. So big moments, he just hasn't shown up. And that's the difference I think you have. Again, I'm gonna say Mbappe again. Mbappe
Golden
usually
Boy.
shows up and yeah, he shows up and he took that France team on his back against Argentina and almost did it. He just shows up in big moments, and I think you're smart going to buy him. So once we get off this podcast very shortly here, go look for stuff because I still think it's still too cheap too. You know which one I just bought two of his is the I know it's not numbered, but it's 2018 Prism World Cup, the red, white, blue parallel, like the red, white, blue wave.
You have to wave. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that card is so undervalued. I paid $100 for that raw. Like, why is that so damn cheap? It shouldn't be that cheap. But
What
people
would you
want
say
number.
is the true rookie, though? I'm curious.
Depends. There's two markets. There's a sticker market and there's a rookie market.
Okay, well,
The
so you
sticker is
obviously
the Monaco kit,
it's the
right? And
yeah.
the card is the Chrome.
Is your
To
okay.
me, yeah, the World Cup is his first World Cup card, right? First World Cup card, first Prism,
Yeah.
right?
What do you think
That
is your value? That or
I think it's the Chrome.
you think it's a Chrome?
Yeah, I actually like the Select Man too. I really like the Select card. I think
Yep.
the Select card is better visually than the Chrome card. I do,
I agree. Yeah.
but it just doesn't get the same attention as the Chrome does because that set's so iconic now, right? But I think Prism, with it being its first, right? We think about this, and I think we understate that. We don't understand that there's patterns to this game. And Messi, Ronaldo, first Prism cards 2014. They go for numbers. They do numbers. They do numbers. Because if you think about it, right, there's only been, let's see, 14, 18, 22, and this will be the last year they do for World Cup for them, probably playing career, right? There'll only be four cards Prism World Cup for those four players. Four prisms, actually, I think. Well, I think Messi's got a Chronicles kind of prism insert type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. But there's only four prism cards really for those guys in their national kits. I think we kind of sometimes forget about that because if you look at, like, I'm going to give you an example. You look at hockey. Prism did hockey for 1 year.
Really?
Those prism cards, I think it's 2014 too. Those prism cards do crazy money because it's prism,
Prism
and
at
it
the end of the day is it's just
is
set.
it's the brand. It's the brand. So I think even like the stuff from 22 World Cup, like you had, Jude's first prism card in there. guys like that, Pedri's first Prism card. I think people probably should go back and look at those and maybe look at buying those. I think in the future those hold some value. And I know everyone's gonna say, well, it's the fifth time or fourth time they're releasing Prism World Cup. Yeah, but it's not their it's their first cards. You know what I mean? I think that's where I usually say these things and then I don't do them. So I probably should start acting on them. I have acted on the Mbappe though, so that I have done. So Cole, man, I really appreciate. Oh, yeah, last question: who's going to win the World Cup? Who's your final four? Let's do final four.
Final four. I mean, you know how the bracket is, so it's tough. But
I know, but we don't know the bracket yet, so we can just
I mean,
pretend.
in a ideal world, I mean, I'd put Argentina there. I'd put Portugal there. I mean, you could go the easy route and just say Argentina, France, Spain, and Portugal. I think there's going to be an upset though. I could see a team like
It's always one.
there's always one I could really see, and it's also a new format. Um, 48 teams. I could see a team like Colombia making it to the final four. I could
They
see
have a
that.
strong. They have a strong team.
Yeah, a strong team.
You know what FIFA really wants is they want Portugal, Argentina in the final. Panini wants that too, so they can make a Panini instant card of the
Of
last dance of Ronaldo and Messi together on card autos. That would break the internet. I think, you know, of those two, and then they retire too at the same time. That'd be funny. Yeah, man. I said the same thing the other day. Somebody was asking me that same question. I'm like, there's always going to be a fourth team that sneaks in there. I think for the hobby, it would be good for the hobby
What's
if
that?
France, Argentina, and Norway were in the final four.
That would be good for the hobby.
But I don't think Norway's got some talented players, but I don't
I
think
mean,
they're making it that far.
they even gonna qualify?
Yeah, they're in line to qualify.
Line to
Yeah,
qualify?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. They're on pace right now, so we'll see. But the hobby would love that for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be insane.
And we're forgetting about Brazil too. And I think one of the struggles that they have is Carlos trying to figure out the best players he has for that team right now and bringing
Yeah.
in multiple.
I think the
But
reality is with that team, you have to move on from Neymar. As sad as it is, I just don't see that team having success if they continue with Neymar. And that's a tough conversation for a lot of people, but I think it's time for, there's some teams that need to move on. I don't think Portugal needs to move on from Ronaldo. Argentina doesn't need Messi, but I don't see Brazil having if they're starting Neymar every single game, with his injuries and everything, I just don't see him.
you're one of the first ones to actually say that because I've always wanted to say that publicly about Neymar. But you're also one of the first ones to say that Portugal does not need to move on from Ronaldo.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't. He
A better
clearly he
striker.
still produces.
No, but the reality is there isn't a better striker. Like in Colorado,
No,
he's good, but he's not better than Ronaldo.
no, he's not. No, Gonzalo Ramos is a good player, but he's just not on that level.
Yeah,
He's
there's
not
not a.
a he's not a true nine. I mean, if Gyökeres was Portuguese, then I would say, yeah, we can move on for Ronaldo, but he's not Portuguese, unfortunately. All right, man, I appreciate you. I'll get this up probably this week. Thank you for your time. I'm
Yeah, of
gonna
course.
offline. I'm gonna when I have a chance, I'm gonna message you because I'm gonna send you a hoodie, a podcast hoodie that you'll probably like. I haven't really posted it yet, but I'm gonna send you one for being on.
Nice. I appreciate that.
All right, man. What size are you too, by the way? Are you large, medium? Okay. Yeah, you're an athlete. You're probably a medium. Medium. All right, cool. Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Have a good night, man.
You too.